What's up, guys? Welcome into the Dawgs Central YouTube channel. I am Graham Coffey. We are back again to do a little Dawgs Central film review. We got a lot of clips to get into tonight, so we are going to go straight to the game tape. None of my face this evening. We're just going to get right to it. Starting out here with South Carolina's first drive of the game. Thought it was kind of interesting. You know, coaches are usually very coy about releasing depth charts in press conferences during the week, but you see here the one that Georgia gave to CBS is even a 13-player depth chart, and it includes Javon Bullard, who did not play any snaps on Saturday. So thought that was kind of interesting. Just, you know, something to laugh at a little bit. But yeah, I mean, Marvin Jones Jr. is on here. There's 5 linebackers on here. You know, obviously Chambliss and Jones Jr. are outside linebackers, but there's 3 inside linebackers with Dumas Johnson, Mondin, and Xavier Sori. You saw C.J. Allen play a good bit as well in this game. So just, I don't know, food for thought. Interesting. But on the whole, Georgia on Saturday, They played less defenders than they usually do. On defense, they had 22 guys that took snaps, which is not a ton by UGA standards. Usually you see that number up closer to 30. And, you know, Damon Wilson, 2 snaps. Darius Smith, C.J. Allen, 5 snaps each. C.J. Madden, 6. Jordan Hall, 8. You know, there was a little bit more of a core group out there. And I don't know if that's because the game was close or because it started poorly or what, but just thought it was interesting. So, all right, without further ado, we're going to get straight into the tape here. Okay, so early in the game, we got a 2nd and 5 here, and South Carolina's just going to hit. They're going to hit this ball to Leggett on the sideline. So this is a double, you know, Georgia kind of had him bracketed throughout the game, which meant safety help over the top, and that safety help is also kind of playing usually inside leverage. And so you're going to see here Everett, he struggled at times in this game, right? I believe he had 7 targets, 6 receptions allowed, and a lot of those yards came off Leggett. You see Starks coming into your screen here. What Everett should be doing, knowing that he's got help over top, is basically, you know, he should be between the ball and the receiver, because Malachi Starks is one of the best safeties in the country, and that's a great throw from Spencer Rattler. The ball placement is literally perfect, but if Everett's just sitting there under top instead of trying to jump underneath that route, then that ball's probably never coming in. So, interesting that South Carolina off the bat went for the young guy. Yes, 7 targets, 6 receptions for 62 yards and a pass breakup for Everett. He did have 4 tackles. One of those qualified as what PFF grades as a stop play. So that's basically just, you know, a failure for the offense. This first drive, we're going to look at a lot of it because South Carolina had 3 scoring opportunities in this game, and we define scoring opportunity as any trip inside the opponent's 40. 3 is very good. They had 11 in week 1 when they played North Carolina. Thing was that they averaged, you know, just 1.5 points per trip against UNC, and against Georgia that number obviously much higher on the per trip basis. Here, look, this is exciting to see. Okay, that's Chaz Chambliss. You know, if you've been watching this show for a year or 2 years, or even, you know, since week 1 of this season, you know, he's a guy that we've talked a lot about in terms of run support and setting the edges and just making sure that he's taking up the right type of space. And this is an excellent job by him. He doesn't get outside as much, but he does, you know, he does stay responsible for his gap. And you see he's playing more inside technique here. So the outside is probably Mondon's responsibility, and Mondon scrapes in there perfectly. But really good job by Chambliss. I thought this was maybe, quietly one of the best games I've ever seen him play for Georgia, particularly on the run defense side of things. So move along here. Got another pass play, Rattler, and this is just somebody, kind of Chambliss gets stuck in coverage downfield here. And, I mean, in fairness, he is dropping into coverage at the snap, right? But I think someone is supposed to follow that. You've got a linebacker there, and that's fine. That linebacker is supposed to be either, spying Rattler or taking up that space. But I'm curious where some of these other more true secondary players are that are further downfield, if they're supposed to be in on that play. I don't know the defensive scheme, so I can't sit here and tell you, oh, it was this guy's fault or that guy's fault. But as a defense, you never want a guy like Chambliss matched up, 20 yards downfield. He's a linebacker. Yeah, not sure, to be honest with you. But and I mean, sometimes you got to give credit to the guys on the other side. Like, good scheme by South Carolina to get that open. But you see there, Georgia playing a lot of kind of soft zone early in this first drive. This outside screen, look, first of many big tackles that Tyke Smith made. That's Trey Knox. He's a tight end. He's a big boy. He's a good player. I love the way Tyke's played these screens all year, and I love the way that he goes low. He grabs your leg and he doesn't let go, and that's a smart way to tackle anybody, but particularly these bigger guys. You see Tyke there. He played a good job. This, South Carolina comes to the other side, and this is some sort of bust, okay? I don't know who it's on once again, but I can promise you that there's not supposed to be this much green grass. And my guess, truthfully, is that it's probably David Daniel. He looks a little lost there, number 14 in coverage. He's dropping back, and he's not really, yes, Georgia's in zone, but your zone rules allow you to account for not covering empty space, basically. And he's kind of covering empty space there. And, compared to what you saw on the play before where, obviously there's a little bit more of a delayed look, and Doty, this receiver there, is just kind of leaking out, but still, that's too easy. You can't give people yards that easily, all right? And all of a sudden, Spencer Rattler's 6 of 6 for 46 yards on the opening drive. 2nd and 15, good pressure here. Mike Hill, I think he had 6 pressures in this game, or 5. He played a really good game, and also, I mean, this is a crazy. I mean, the broadcast, I think all of us watching thought that Rattler's throwing this away. You can see the closing speed here is very impressive from, I believe that's Lassiter over there. Like, look when this ball, you see right here, look at the top left of the screen. Lassiter is about 8 yards deep, right, as this is coming off. And so he does a really good job, and he's still backpedaling at this point. He does a really good job of understanding what's going on and crashing upfield and making a good tackle. This is your touchdown play, right? 3rd and 16, and I don't love the call to blitz here. Kirby said in his press conference, like, basically, blitzing isn't what cost us this touchdown. Not tackling was. And while that is a reality, I also just think in this spot, a sack doesn't really get you anything. They're already in a situation in 3rd and 16 where they're not going to go for it on 4th down, and sacking Rattler in this situation doesn't push them out of field goal range. It's 3 points either way, basically. So there are a lot of things that go wrong on this play. Some of these guys that are coming up field and blitzing, Walker for one, he probably could have turned around right about here where he realizes what's going on. He should probably be beelining upfield. But the way that this is designed for Georgia, right, is these screens, they usually have these boundary guys playing outside leverage, okay? And that just means it's their job to funnel this stuff back towards the middle of the field. And you see Starks doing that. You see Lassiter doing that. You don't want to give up the boundary. This right here on I think that's David Daniel, that could be called a block in the back or a hold. It wasn't. Dan Jackson needs to make this play, right? Tyke Smith, he's all of a sudden way too far inside. Just poor tackling, but more than that, it's poor positioning. You know, Georgia's in the wrong places, basically. You're going to see this here from wider angle. You know, you see Tyke there at the 5-yard line. He basically runs himself in. Oh, I'm sorry, that's David Daniel. But you know, some of these guys are running themselves into blocks, right? And I think that's a situational thing. Tyke's over on the bottom side of your screen. He's going to come across with Dan Jackson there, but you know, David Daniel's here at the 5-yard line. This is his half of the field to play, and he's a young guy in his first start, so stuff like this is to be expected. I don't want to pick on him too hard, but you know, that big guy, he's got to come reach you. You don't need to come to him, essentially. Like, it's 3rd and 16. Yes, you want to limit yardage at all times, but in this situation, if you're able to just get into this lane and not get blocked, then your teammates have that extra split second to come and help you, and that can make all the difference in the world. Credit to Juice Wells, who's a very electric player and runs this in for a touchdown. But, yeah, I mean, just uncharacteristic, poor tackling in the back end from the Georgia defense. That's something that Georgia's defense has been built on for a long time, is good tackling. All right, first drive of the game for Georgia. I think immediately you see the Daijun Edwards difference, right? This is a 2nd and 6, and it's not super well blocked. If I'm not mistaken here, this is just kind of a zone scheme type deal. Credit to Roseme, who's coming down and blocking here as a wide receiver who makes this play. That's why he plays as much as he does, because he blocks his ass off. But this is a cut and a level of patience and balance and vision and lean that Georgia hasn't had in the backfield to this point in the season, right? And it just, you know, you get that back, it's so big, and it was, I think, a real shot in the arm for the offensive line. Georgia ended up over 200 yards rushing in this game, and Daijun Edwards was, I think, 120 of that on 20 carries, if I'm not mistaken. Really, really nice game from him. And just, I don't know if Georgia wins this football game if he's not back in the lineup this week. Here you get, oh, that's the same play. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right. This is first pass play of the game, and this is a replay of it. And look, I mean, it's an 11-yard play, which sadly for Georgia, and this explains why they only scored 3 points in the first half, but this 11-yard gain ties for the longest gain of the half for Georgia, and this is not what you would classify as an explosive play. But look, Gary Danielson, he circled him for you there at the bottom of the screen. Dylan Bell, totally uncovered. Carson Beck, got to recognize that. Whether it's your read or not, that's the type of thing that, you know, I think he's doing a really good job protecting the football, and he deserves credit for that. But he needs to be a little slower coming through his reads. And you know, he's got good pass protection 95% of the time. And I think he's got to trust that a little bit more and give his receivers time to get open, and also give him time to see them getting open. So here, this is later on in the drive. This is just a straight miss block in the middle here by Xavier Truss. Van Pran is gonna miss in here as well. But yeah, I mean that interior left side continues to be a problem. You know, both center and left guard could have done better things on that play. Here you go, 1st and 10. play action, and Beck, he's going down. Like, just what do you got here, right? Ernest Green struggled at times in this game, but he's off doing a good enough job over there on the left side, right? He gets this guy coming back in, but what do you see right here? Very obviously, by the first down marker, you got two offensive linemen blocking one guy, and South Carolina's bringing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got a 6 down there, so I mean Georgia's got 6 to block 5. That should work out, but you got two double teams. You got Bowers and Green on one guy, and you got I believe that's Mims and Truss on one guy. So the math doesn't work there, right? Somebody's coming unblocked, and they do, and that's a sack. Just again, these guys I think are still not picking up their assignments properly in a lot of situations. At third down here, this is a nice job by Carson. I think, good throw here to Roseme. Just, him and Roseme seem to have a very good rapport on these kind of over-the-middle throws. And Stetson and Roseme had a good rapport on those throws. Roseme's very, very good at sitting down in the right spots and zones and making himself a available target for his quarterback. So good receiver play there. This was nice to see from Kendall Milton. I hate that he got hurt in this game again because you saw some bursts from him on Saturday that you maybe hadn't seen the first couple of weeks. He looked healthy. Good run blocking here off the right side, and good job by Beck carrying out this fake, right? Okay, if Beck doesn't carry out this fake, then number 7, that end, I believe, or outside linebacker for South Carolina, he's crashing and he's tackling Milton for a loss. Beck carries out his fake well. It's enough to freeze 7. Yes, he makes the play eventually, but he makes it 8 yards down the field. This game is about seconds and inches, okay? And it's the little details that get you those seconds and inches. Good job by Carson Beck. Later on in the drive, 2nd and 10, Beck's going to hand it off to Edwards, and this is just poor blocking. You see Van Pran. He's upset. He's got his hands on his head. Never good when you see your O-lineman with your hands on their heads, especially your veteran senior center. Let's see who misses that block. I'm assuming it's Cedric because of the way he reacted, but could be wrong. Yeah. That guy gets too far upfield on him. Doesn't square him up. It happens. It's a hard game. Those guys have scholarships too. I don't know why this play is coming back up again. Oh, that's because we are back onto defense. Okay, sorry about that. So as you know, that first drive ends in a field goal for the offense. But now you're back on defense, and South Carolina is coming after Dalen Everett again, right? You get Leggett, and you saw this with Everett a lot. Look, credit him. It's better to give up the small play than the big play, right? And so, I think that was kind of some of his philosophy. But you see here, he's just not totally in touch with the receiver. And the way he gets himself with his back turned to the play, you'd like to see him kind of flip differently. And then, obviously, it takes him a while. It takes him a few steps to get moving back upfield. In a perfect world, he's more in touch with his man, but B, he's planting and exploding upfield a little bit quicker. Again, he's young, man. Like he's a young DB that's starting in his first SEC game, and he's playing maybe the best receiver he's going to see all year. So, you can't knock him for giving up what he gave up, but this show is about, what did Georgia do well, and then also what can they do better? And they could do that better. Here is the sack from Stackhouse. This is pretty impressive. He just one-hands the dude down to the turf. Good job by him. And you see on the replay that you got Sorey. He's going to crash up there anyways and get Rattler. If Stackhouse doesn't, Story's just going to come up and do his job, fill in that run lane, but doesn't have to. It's kind of an impressive display of strength. Not quite the Jalen Carter pickup, Jaden Daniels with one-hand play, but hey, pretty good still. All right, 2nd and 13 here for South Carolina. And again, good screen defense from Georgia, right? Georgia gave up that 17-yard screen for a touchdown, and then after that, I believe South Carolina had 5 or 6 other screen plays, and they netted like a total of 8 yards. Very, very good job by them. And this is Dumas Johnson coming up, making a good play. I heard some people that were kind of critical of his game on Saturday. I didn't agree with that. I thought that he played really, really well. There was maybe not really, really well, but I thought he played a solid game. I thought that he was in the right places at the right times and did a good job of getting upfield and making tackles in those types of situations. I'm looking to see. So South Carolina had the 16-yard screen for a touchdown, or maybe 17-yard. After that, they tried to run 6 other screens. They completed 5 of those for a total of 12 yards. So pretty good by Georgia shoring up that after the first drive. All right, 3rd and 14 here. This is good job by Georgia getting Spencer Rattler off the spot. Honestly, this is an insane throw that he almost makes here. He played phenomenal on Saturday, like in this game. He was outstanding. But look at this. Look at Xavier Sorey, okay? This is a guy who was, not an off-ball linebacker in high school. Great athlete, rated as a 5-star by a lot of services. Has been in the program for a few off seasons now, and you see Xavier Sorey. He's starting to come into his own, and he's starting to react instead of think. He knows what he's supposed to do. He knows where he's supposed to be. He's making the right reads, and because of that, he's on the field, and they trust him to be on the field. We've known he's a phenomenal athlete, but watch him come off this bottom edge here on this pass rush. Boom. Just straight flattens out South Carolina's right tackle, and then Tyke Smith is able to knock that pass away. That is not something you see every day. 200 and maybe 30-pound inside linebacker flattening a right tackle with their hands. It's impressive stuff. All right. We're going to move on here. 2nd and 10. Carson Beck. Nice throw. Is it sexy? No, but I'm all for getting Brock Bowers the ball. I think my criticism of Carson Beck in the first half of this game in particular was that I think he was, not looking to push the ball down the field or to the boundaries in certain situations. We'll talk about that some more as we go on here. But, he also, to credit him, when throwing underneath, he made the right decisions. Some of these throws can be tough, and, he's not putting the ball into the bad places. This is another play, a couple plays later, and I chose to run this angle because we can see this is Ernest Green being young, and he doesn't want to let anybody get to his quarterback, nor should he. That's his job. But as an offensive lineman in this situation, you got to get your hands onto your defender. If you're not engaged with that defender, then this is what happens. He's got free reign to go be an athlete and jump and knock that ball down. And, I mean, you don't want balls getting tipped. If balls get tipped, then they can get picked. Bad things can happen. A really good athletic defensive lineman, depending on where that ball's thrown, can pick it off. So, and I saw Beck as this game went on, a couple of those tips kind of got in his head a little bit. There's a fourth down play at the end of the first half I'm going to show you here shortly where he didn't throw the ball out to Dejan because he, again, was worried about the ball getting tipped. And that wasn't, that play wasn't green, but yeah, just something that's got to get fixed. Here's another screen pass. Here's another excellent job defending it by the Georgia defense. This is Kamari Lassiter coming up and make the play. Just play that for you at full speed. Great job. He sees what's going on, and he just reacts to it before Doty can get out there and reach him. The best way to defend these screens is to see them so fast that those wide receivers that are coming to block you as a corner don't have enough time to get there. If you're fast enough on your reaction, then they'll never get you. Here we got kind of I think that was a third down play, if I'm not mistaken. This is another one of those spots where Everett, right, like just a little too much cushion for that situation. It's not bad coverage, okay? It's not, but if you're going to play that soft on a third down situation and you're playing a guy who's at the sticks, then, he's playing inside technique here. He wants to funnel this guy inside, and he manages to do that, but just not quite close enough to make Rattler afraid of throwing that football. So 3rd and 2 here, and this is just this is a tough one. Everett just falls down, so can't really hate on him for that one. I do like this here though. He's closer up and he's playing tighter. He doesn't make the play, but that's the right idea. Yeah, like that's and that's a good. Obviously, 3rd and 2, he's going to play different technique, different cushion than he would be on longer yardage situation. Let's see what we got here. This is play action shot. Yeah, good. Lassiter played a phenomenal football game on Saturday, right? Like, I thought that was Saturday might have been his best game ever in a Georgia uniform for my money. I thought he was outstanding. 7 targets, 3 receptions allowed for 37 yards. What's ironic is that he gets charged with the 41-yarder. PFF called him responsible for the long pass, like late in the fourth quarter in garbage time by Omega Blake. That was 41 yards, but that's a 41-yard pass, and he gave up 37 yards receiving. So basically, that's the only play that he allowed that was either a completion or not a loss. And that came when the game was in hand. Good run defense here. Kristen Miller, I believe. Yeah, Kristen Miller's the one in there on that play and just does a really nice job, 52. And he's kind of, he's playing pretty much true nose here. And so credit him. Just that's high-level stuff for a redshirt freshman, okay? Like, he's going to be a good one. Georgia gets the ball back, and you're going to see a little Dejan Edwards action here. Again, the lean and the the cutting ability. Good blocking here at the second level by Cedric. And nice hole. You see Ratledge. He's wearing 77. It's a good seal by him. This is a nice job by the interior three. And fine job by Mims and Green as well. But the run plays, it's going towards these interior guys. And you see everybody. Ratledge has his butt turned inside. Van Pran is down here sealing out the second level. Truss has got a seal. That's a good run play. That's much, much better from the Georgia offensive line. And I thought they played a much better. This was their best game of the year by far. Is there stuff they still got to clean up? Yeah, absolutely. There will be every week, but this was promising. This is the flea flicker, and oh my gosh, look at Roseme. Okay, on the broadcast they talked about Bowers. Roseme is the top of the screen. He's standing on the 3, on the 30 there, boundary receiver. I don't know why Beck doesn't throw it to him. I don't know if he didn't see him or what. This ball ends up going to Bowers, who kind of, really comes out in a delay on this pattern. But if he sees Roseme and he's so far behind the defense. Like, it's an easy touchdown. Yeah, it's just, you got to see that. That's two easy, simple, uncovered touchdowns that Georgia did not convert in the first half because Beck wasn't seeing downfield quite well enough. This is the fourth down I was talking about. In real time from the other angle, from the traditional broadcast angle, I was like, why didn't he throw this to Dejan? This, could have been a really explosive play. Edwards would have had a one-on-one down here on the boundary. In reality, I think if he tries to throw this to Edwards, there's a decent chance this gets knocked down. And the safer play was him to throw to Delp. It was a little awkward, but it's the right play. And on 4th and 2, that's the right decision. You gotta make the throw that you're gonna complete and get the first down. You can't worry about yards after catch as much in that situation. So good job by Carson on something I think a lot of people thought was a bad job initially. Look, man, if he can do that all the time, yeah, great job. I think it's good for him to get hit and to take off running like this. Obviously, you don't want to get him hurt. That would be disastrous for Georgia. But this engages your quarterback in the game. It gets him loose. It knocks butterflies out. Good job by him. Good field awareness. Great job taking off. Good play by Beck. I hated these 1st and goals for Georgia where they're 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Did not love the red zone play calling sequences in the first half, but in fairness to Mike Bobo, they got a block. If you're, I don't love that Carson doesn't check out of this, honestly. You see easily you got this overhang blitz here on the right side of Georgia's offensive line. Like, you got this guy from South Carolina who's creeping down the left side of UGA's, he's creeping down off the left side of South Carolina's defensive line, and it's very obvious, what's about to happen here. South Carolina's in tight. This guy's going to come and wrap around. This is probably not going to be a successful play, especially to the short side of the field. Would like to see Beck make an audible here and get Georgia into a different play. And trying to gap scheme that blitzer off the edge. I don't care how athletic your linemen are. And, this is going to be Green and Fairchild, your left tackle and left guard, pulling around here. They're not reaching that blitzer. They maybe on a really good day, but that's just a tough ask for two linemen playing in their first ever SEC game. not saying that yes, the assignment was still missed, but way better plays you can check into in that situation. Here we got. So this is the play before half, right? Where the game really changes right here on this play, and it's not bad. This is actually all right. I'll give Dowell Loggins some credit here. This is a beautiful call against what George is doing here because it's a lot harder to bracket a dude that's in the slot because when you bracket these guys on the boundary, the safety can kind of leverage them towards the outside, and if that safety's playing inside leverage, then it just cuts the field down and it cuts down options. Putting Leggett in the slot meant way, way harder to play that with him, but he gets passed off to David Daniel, and David Daniel is like this. This is bad from the start, okay? Well, not from the start, but right about here, David Daniel needs to be aware of what's happening, and his eyes are in the wrong places. His leverage is already off, and now he's put himself in a situation where he's playing catch up, and you want to play catch up against number 17. It's not a perfect thrown ball, but he's already cooked. So, yeah. Tough. And look, again, that guy's really good. It's a tough play. So, be fair to 17. This can't happen. You can't miss tackles on Rattler in the hole. This, I believe, was Dumas Johnson. But, yeah, this is Dumas Johnson that misses this here. He seemed a little timid to hit Rattler. Probably was afraid of drawing a flag, but he's a ball carrier at that point. I also think the running back coming out on that route, it kind of confused him. He sort of got split between the two of them. And then this is poor from Mondon. I don't know what happens here exactly. You got Dumas Johnson coming on a blitz. Mondon just, it's like right here, he's like, oh shit, that guy just ran past me. Yeah, it's not something you're used to seeing Georgia bust especially in the red zone. Georgia's historically so good in the red zone when the field shrinks, but they were not in the first half on Saturday. Here is a nice throw from Beck to Lovett before halftime. What I don't like is, I thought before half some of those short throws, A, were a little dangerous, and B, were just too timid on the whole. So, it is what it is. Good job by Mike Bobo coming out in the third quarter. This drive was the most rhythm I saw Georgia's offense have all year to this point. These motion screens to Lovett worked. Ra Thomas there. Is it a beautiful block that's going to, make a highlight reel? No, but he got in the way, and that's really all you need these guys to do is just, we'd love to see Thomas get to the spot where he's knocking dudes on their ass like Pickens was back in the day or like Rosemy does sometimes, but right here, this is good enough to play winning football and to get first downs. Good job. 1st and 10. Keep it rolling. Here you're going to have the bomb from Beck. And, great shot by Beck. Great catch by Thomas. Good job by Carson putting a flat ball in and understanding where the defender is in relation to his receiver. Excellent, excellent job. Great play by Carson. There's one other thing I wanted to point out here was, I was critical of Beck in the first half for not checking down, but all these underneath routes kind of between the numbers that he kept throwing. What I saw after halftime was a offensive coordinator and Mike Bobo that recognized what was going on with his quarterback because he took those options away from him, at least when he needed him to go deep. Right here, like he gives him the outlet to muse out there on the outside if shit really is hitting the fan. But these are all deep routes, and this is Carson Beck steps up in the pocket here. This is good. Like this is textbook stuff. Really, really nice play. Great job. And then you follow that up with best run of the year I thought I had seen to this point from Kendall Milton. It sucks so bad that he got hurt on this run. Sounds like it's not too bad. I think, Georgia might have him back for Auburn is sort of the feel right now. Time will tell, obviously, but it's a great job. I mean, that's 2-3 broken tackles. Good job making a man miss in the open field. That is an athletic play. Great job by Milton. Some legit bursts there. And then I believe this is the touchdown run. Yeah. And just right side of the line, cleans it up. Really nice. And I mean, good job. This is why Bowers is so good. Okay. He does all the things he does with the football in his hands, but he helps spring that touchdown run. Great job by him. All right. This Georgia, they score a touchdown coming out of half, and they have their best defensive series. I thought maybe to that point. It's a good run defense right there. Sorry, guys. There we go. Okay. And then you get a 2nd and 9. You get a sack by Michael. Look at that real quick. I mean, the thing that strikes me here is Michael on Saturday, a lot of times you saw him stunting back around towards the inside, but look who's coming off that edge and forcing Rattler to step up into the pocket. That's Tyke Smith. And he is playing so many important roles for Georgia right now. And I mean, like there's a run play in this game where he legit sets the edge as a, slot corner. Just really, really good stuff. Good team defense is what it is. Not guys chasing, but everyone playing good team defense. And then here, boom. All right, this was a key moment because Leggett had been kicking Georgia's ass, right? I mean, he'd been beating Georgia straight up. Where are you used to seeing number 3? You're used to seeing him on the left side of the field, which would be the top of your screen normally. Where is he on this play? He's at the bottom of the screen. 3rd and 14, Georgia puts its veteran corner on the best receiver on the field. They move him down there and they man him up. And as you can see, it's well up to the challenge. Really good defense, really good play, Georgia football. And then, it felt like it was on from there for UGA. They come out, boom, great job by Carson hitting Bowers on that. Good route by Brock. Just good, efficient football. First downs. You get another 1st and 10. And yeah, this was one of those run plays where somebody misses in here. I'll say this, and I've definitely tried to defend Bobo because I think he's doing a good job and Georgia's not executing some things. And you can make that argue about this as well. But I don't know why Georgia keeps getting in these tight personnel sets to try and run the football. Because to my eye, they're having a lot more success running the football when they're spreading things out a little bit more. I'm not saying don't use your tight ends as inline blockers, but I'm telling you, you don't need to put your entire offense between the hash marks. I mean, yes, no, I'm not an offensive coordinator, but this is one where you get Van Pran and Fairchild on the same guy, and you get Green and Bowers on the same guy. I don't know. You see Van Pran coming in there, but I think one thing I'll tell you is that there's a lot of plays on tape that people are going to say, oh, Cedric Van Pran missed that block. And what I'm going to tell you is I think what's much more likely is that Fairchild or Truss is blocking the wrong guy. There's, missed assignment type stuff, or he's trying to cover for these guys, and so it looks like he's blocking the wrong guy. But I don't know. Again, the run blocking there is not terrible at all, honestly. It's just there's too many dudes within 20 feet of the football at the snap. Here's another one of these tip balls. It's not tipped super well. Maybe it's not tipped at all, but this is another one of those plays where Green has got to get out and block his man so that guy can't jump in the air. And then you would have a completion. Okay, 3rd and 7. Great job by Carson. Actually struggles with the snap a little bit. It's a little weird coming into his hands. See, he kind of doesn't bobble it, but it's close. And then just good route by Ra. You'd like to see that route a little bit deeper, but you don't want to see it deeper if it means that it's going to get picked off or it's not going to be complete. So Ra Thomas was very key in the second half of this game, particularly on the 2 touchdown drives in the third quarter. Great job by him. And then good blocking by Bowers here. I like this toss call a lot. Georgia used a lot of motion throughout the game, particularly in the second half. And good job by the offensive line, right? These guys are out second level. Look at Truss. I mean, he steps in at right tackle, and I thought he played a very, very good second half at right tackle. Gets out there and gets a little piece of that guy and then gets a piece of this guy. That's solid. He's doing a good job. 2nd and 1. Another one of these screens. And again, look, that block from Ra. Very, very good. And you see him. He's excited about it. That's what happens when you do the little shit, when you do the details. Look, what's the Abraham Lincoln quote? My religion is, if I do good, I feel good. That's let's apply that to football for a second. Arian Smith, the speedster, the quote-unquote track guy that everyone, looks at as kind of like just a go route runner, maybe not a complete wide receiver. There he is blocking his ass off. There's Ra Thomas, the dude that played in the air raid, blocking his ass off. And now, instead of Georgia getting set up on another one of these 1st and goals at the 10-yard line, it's going to be 1st and goal at the 5 or the 4. And that makes a large difference. Boom. It's at the 3. And because of that, you're bumping in a touchdown even against a 12-man defense. And that's a great job opening that hole off the left side by Green and Fairchild. Another coverage bust here. This is another bust by David Daniel. Look, he struggled in this game. 4 targets, 4 catches, allowed 80 yards. That was my count on him. And I think what's most concerning is that he had 2 missed tackles, and that's just not something Georgia can afford to do in the back end, especially at the safety position. Here, this is a little bit, but look how far back. This is 2nd and 3, which is a dealer's choice kind of call, so I'm not saying that Lassiter should be up at the sticks necessarily, but This is just way, way too much cushion, man. Like, what, you know. South Carolina's got some good receivers, don't get me wrong, but unless it's 17 or 1, I mean, I just don't think this is a guy that, I mean, Everett's like a 4-4 guy, He's not going to get burnt by 89. So I'm sure he'll learn from that. Good blitz here off the right side. This is beautiful. Again, team defense, team defense, team defense. There are other guys for Rattler to run into. You got both your inside backers coming here. This is nasty, man. This is a sweet, sweet blitz. I really, really like this. And you got Walker coming off the right. This is kind of your NASCAR package, so to speak. And you got Sori in at outside linebacker. That's what's interesting. You got 3 inside linebackers on the field, except for one of them's not playing outside linebacker. But that's textbook. Perfectly done. Great ball here to Rosemy, and it's delivered accurately so he can run after the catch. I like that Bobo came back to the tight formation, ran play action out of it, got himself a look that he liked for his receiver working over the middle. Nice job there. And then next play, hand off to Cash Money Millionaires. Look, dude, that's a legit. Look at him finish the run. Look at Cash. Okay, and then look at this hole. Look at Truss and Ratledge together doing things. Look, that's good offensive line play, okay? That's moving folks. That's really well done. And good job by Cash Jones getting downhill. Later in the drive. Oh, yeah, I don't like this. This is the third down play. I mean, I know what Beck's trying to do here. He thinks Edwards is going to go downfield, and he's going to loft it over this defender. But look, man, we don't need to do that. You want to throw it away, just throw it away. You don't want him thrown across his body, so I'm not going to knock him too hard for not looking back to his left here. Although, if right now he just looks back towards the center of the field, he's got Rosemy easily. I don't know. I mean, look, he is under pressure, so let's be fair. These kids aren't robots. Now it's raining. Boom. Good run defense from Mondin there. Liked it a lot. And he's kind of. This is an interesting look from Georgia because he and Starks are both stacked over the slot. It's a good job by him recognizing. I mean, when Knox, the tight end, comes in motion, it frees him to come downhill, but he knows what he's doing, and he comes down there and puts support off that edge. It's nice. Again, love it in motion. Good things happen. Good carry by Dylan Bell. I like it a lot. I like seeing these guys that are not your more experienced running backs hitting these holes hard and getting downhill. This is a really nice job by Ernest Green too, okay? And Fairchild for that matter. Young guys, young bucks off the left side doing a nice job here. Again, I thought Georgia ran really well out of actually Fairchild didn't do that great of a job. But anyways, I still thought Georgia did a good job running out of more shotgun / spread kind of formations. It's something I'm interested to monitor over the coming weeks and months. Boom. Good job. That's vet on vet right there. Two guys understand what each other's seeing. Bowers, I thought, was so clutch in the second half of this game. he was gutting this out with a bad hamstring, and there was just a lot of plays where he got on his giddy up and really kind of stretched it out and strained. And for a guy that's going to be a top 5, top 10 pick to put his body on the line like that and fight through contact and continue loading his leg over and over with a bad hamstring, it was pretty cool to see. Cash Jones, touchdown run here. And Truss and Ratledge, again, good combo off the right side. Truss with the kick out block, really nice, and good job by Jones hitting it. That kind of little stutter step cut that he had there was interesting and quite athletic, if I can, be honest with you. Like, this is good vision. Boop, 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 bam, go. Good job. Good patience. Keep your feet moving. And then when you see the crease, hit it. Good job, Cash Jones. And then here you go, and then you're going to see, just that's good pressure and good, some of these plays are just good team defense. Georgia, I thought, was very smart. They did not hit Rattler. They didn't do stupid things. This is another one of those plays for Bowers. Like, he's taking abuse there, honestly, and that kind of sucks, especially knowing he's already hurt. But, like, this is just a guy who cares. This is your best player being one of your best leaders. He should be down right here on this hit. Number 0, Debo Williams, the inside linebacker. He's going to deliver a great hit while Bowers is already wrapped up on the legs, and he just loads these fucking thighs, and excuse my language. But he loads up and he goes again. That's a baby rhino is what that is. It's not a tight end. It is a baby rhinoceros. 3rd and 2. I hate this play call. The end around to Dylan Bell here. Georgia was running the ball and leaning on them. I don't know why you do that there. Again, stop running out of tight personnel. I don't like it. Here, I don't know why. Good job by Everett getting up tight, I guess. It's a drop, but he's in the right position, and that can make things like drops happen. This play was phenomenal. This coverage by Smile Mondin. Look, just straight up, linebackers aren't supposed to cover like this with this type of, not just athleticism, but look at the technique here. He plays this out route perfectly. The way he undercuts that, if he doesn't kind of stumble a little bit, he might pick it. But, yeah, he just does a really nice job. And then this is, just Georgia playing soft here late in the game. They give up this play. You got him working under, that's probably on Dan Jackson, to be honest with. Well, I don't know if it is because he is responsible, but maybe it's on Lassiter. I'm not sure, truthfully, to be totally frank with you. But don't want to give that up in that situation, right? Oh, sorry. Okay. And then, oh yeah, this is really nice from Starks. I thought, he's been playing really well all year, but his coverage in the second half from the safety spot was just very, very impressive to me. He did a really, really good job in coverage. This is going to be your interception from Dan Jackson. Look, this is textbook. Backpedal, watch the quarterback, find the football. Center field. Good job by him. And good pressure by Jordan Hall. Good job by Jordan Hall not putting Spencer Rattler on the turf. And he's excited, and he should be. It's cool to see the young guys getting in there, doing the right things, and being excited about it. And being rewarded for it. That's what football's about. It's a whole lot of work to do what these guys do. And then this is just another one of these, like, not. There's not a lot of backs that make these runs, okay? Daijun Edwards is criminally underrated, okay? Look at this run. He comes out, hits, basically you got one guy that's coming free rusher up the middle, coming straight down the A gap between center and left guard, not fazed by it. Look at Roseme come off the wide receiver position. And, in fairness to Mike Bobo, this is why you do run the ball out of tight personnel, because you got a guy like Roseme that'll come in and clean out a linebacker or a safety. But, and then he makes a guy miss in the hole. Going to come out, make another guy miss. Straight stutter step style. This is dirty, dude. And he's doing that in his first football game of the year after having an injured MCL. That's nasty, okay? High level run. And then I think this is the last play I got. Yeah, this is your interception by Tyke Smith. Just good job undercutting, playing the ball. And Georgia wins. They take a knee. There you go. All right. That is the Dawgs Central film review for this week. Right in at an hour. Try to keep it, that tries to be the max that we will go on this show. Obviously, this is a highly contested football game, and it was close, and it was back and forth for a while, and there was a lot that we learned about Georgia. Just kind of the big takeaway for me, good stat for you, is that Georgia had not trailed by double digits at halftime and won a game by double digits since 1999 against Vanderbilt. So what they did on Saturday is not easy to do. They got to not get down, okay? Like, they got to fix that. But the swiftness with which they responded was incredibly impressive to me. They got to finish drives in the red zone, okay? 8 scoring opportunities for Georgia, 3 scoring opportunities for South Carolina. Georgia averaged 3 points a scoring opportunity. South Carolina, whatever 14 divided by 3 is, 4.5, I think. Yeah, you get it. 4.75 maybe. I don't know. Somebody that's good at math can tell me. But point being, Georgia's moving the ball. 56% offensive success rate on Saturday, which is just very good. It's borderline elite, especially for an SEC game against an SEC defense that is a good defense. What I think you want to see is just Carson Beck continuing to push the ball downfield a little more, identify things downfield, and keep kind of growing in terms of the patience that he shows in the pocket. And Georgia, we found out on Monday or Sunday maybe, whatever we found out, Kendall Milton hurt his MCL in this game. Roderick Robinson has a high ankle sprain. Yes, you do have Daijun Edwards back, but the running back room is still very beat up. I would argue it's more banged up now than it was before the game on Saturday. So they've got to, A, create easier runs for themselves so they're not having to grind this out, but B, the way to do that is explosives downfield, push the ball downfield, get your safeties, get the opponent's safeties out of the box, okay? So, Carson Beck, when he showed up on campus, all he wanted to do was bomb it away. The fact that this is who he is now in terms of not who he is, but the fact that he has the ability now to throw the ball underneath and work these kind of, shorter routes and work them within the zones and work them in traffic and not be turning the ball over is an incredible credit to his development and growth. Super impressive. And he's protected the football extremely well. What Georgia has to do now is they've got to just get him to he's doing all the right things. He's just got to kind of take one more half of a beat to look downfield, and he's got to, put these balls up. He's got really good receivers, and he's got to put balls up for them to go and get and put them in positions to make plays because they're capable of it. So that is the show for today. Thank you guys for joining me. I am Graham Coffey. Please go and subscribe to dawgcentral.com. We work our asses off to bring you deep dive content and the most up-to-date intel on the team and recruiting that you're going to find anywhere. So come and